Hello everybody, it's Murialda here again, and welcome to part 2 of my birthday haul for 2016, also known as November 2016. So, yesterday, it was such a beautiful day, sun was shining, 70 degrees, slight breeze, and then this morning it's snowing. So welcome to November in Ohio. So yeah, as I've said before, my birthday is technically tomorrow, but for some reason MSC has sent out notifications today, so a bunch of people are saying happy birthday today. It is what it is. But I wanted some figures, and so I looked around for figures and looked for, since in October. And I was having problems finding ones I liked. I wound up, just because I couldn't find them anywhere else, I clicked on Nippon Yasan, and I found out how to sort by, the in-stock ones. You don't want pre-orders or anything like that for presents because you never know. Most likely they're going to be delayed. And as I was going through, this one popped up at me, and I'm like, instantly I put her in the cart because a couple of years ago I was kind of in the same situation where I wanted something, but I didn't know what, so I was browsing. And Tart had popped up. She was on Ami Pre-Owned at the time. And I kept going back to her and going back to her. She interested me. I liked her, but I didn't really know anything about her. And, I didn't want to just get one thing. So, of course, eventually she was sold out and haven't seen her since. Well, like I said, she popped up on Nippon Yasan as brand new in stock, so bam. And the strange thing is, I had actually been thinking about this figure recently. So I guess it was meant to be. Since I did buy her from Nippon Yasan, I'm pretty sure I overpaid. But I don't care, it's my birthday. I have searched for her on other sites since and have found her for cheaper, but oh well. There's the whole convenience thing of my entire haul came from one store. And it's a lot of people don't count that convenience factor enough. But, Nippon Yasan, their shipping kind of, it takes a lot longer than you would expect. Especially if you're used to Ami shipping. But anyways, we're, almost 3 minutes into this video, and I haven't even given you any information. So yeah, this is Tart, or Astarte. She is from Tears to Tiara II, Hao no Matsuie, which is a PS3 game. The original Tears to Tiara actually got an anime, which I watched, and, it was bleh. It just seems to move so slow for me. This one, it was just a game, never had an anime made of it, and it's new characters. And like I said, this is Tarte, who is one of the main characters. She's actually an elf girl. But she goes by the goddess of prosperity and war. She's manufactured by Vertex and is a 1/8 scale. She is part of their Dwell line, and she was originally released September 8th of 2014. So she's over 2 years old, and I paid $123.05. Yes, I know I've overpaid. And I actually did go back and look this morning, and it did go down in price by $10. All of my figures for this order did. But oh well. As I said, it's my birthday. I like this figure. I'm happy I got it. She does have a couple strange design choices, and I have read that her flag is a pain in the ass, so let's get to it. So yeah, like I said, I don't know anything about her. I don't have a PS3, so I'm never going to play the game. I did watch a couple videos real quick of it, so I kind of saw videos of her. There's the inside of the box. It's like orange. It's got a couple flower patterns. It's got the game logo. And her flower ornament in her hair is actually one of the main ornaments or logos for the game. So yay. So she comes with instructions. I'm actually surprised how big her box was. She didn't look that big to me in the pictures, but she seems a little bit big. Bigger than a 1/8 normally is. So yeah, it's showing how to get her flag assembled, it looks like, and maybe getting her sword in there. Put that off to the side. So there are 2 different blisters for her. There's the main one with her and her sword, and then one for the flag. It's got a pretty big base. I'm kind of surprised. Like I said, I was expecting her to be smaller than she is. I did see 1 or 2 pictures of her in a collection, and that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted her. Was I'm out of space, I'll be honest. But so I thought maybe I could squeeze her in somewhere, but I need to make space. So there's the front of the blister. There is the side of the blister. And the back showing, the massive flag. And there's the other side. And back to the front. So let's get this back blister out. Of course, it is taped together in the horrible way that you cut the blister instead of the tape. So yeah, it's got the flagpole, and 2 supports. Let's get those out. And of course, it's taped together. The other day I was watching someone do an unboxing, and they used an iPhone Lightning charger to cut tape. I mean, come on, how people can be very stupid sometimes. Gotta use a knife. Oh. So surprisingly, this flag is pretty heavy. You can tell that the symbol is the decal. You can see like the clear parts and how it's, dot matrix printed on. But from arm's length, it doesn't look that bad. Especially if you don't have a bright light shining on it to reflect off the decal. But the paint job is done very nicely. It's got lots of shading. I've been a fan of like red on these figures for a while. And this is kind of, very pale. It looks like it's been out in the sun for a while. So not as red as I would have liked. So there is the flag pole, and this thing, I'd say, is about a foot long. Actually, more than a foot. Because, just about a foot, because that turntable is a foot wide. And it's actual metal. Looks like these supports are also metal. And I think I'll just cut them. Not that you can really see what I'm doing anyways. Yeah, these are definitely metal. So there's a longer one and a shorter one. And like I said, these are just supports for her flag. Ought to be interesting putting it together. Put this blister off to the side now. And then we'll get the main feature open. This one, it looks like they've taped the corners shut. Sorry, I know this is not the best angle, and I've got this a little bit close to the camera, so you're probably seeing my arms a lot. But oh well, you can deal. You're big boys and girls. And 2 years and a sealed blister. It's kind of rough opening that thing. And there that goes. So let's get her base open. It's in its own plastic baggie. Always rips instead of opening. So there it is. It's like almost got a translucent base, translucent white. I can see my finger through it if I press it up against it. I don't know if it shows up on camera. Yeah, it does a little bit. But it says her name, Tart, and it's got the flower ornament. And it's got peg holes for her feet and the supports. And it is actually pretty large. So, yay. Next, we'll go ahead and pull out her sword, which is, once again, in its own baggie, which is taped shut and it doesn't want to open. So we shall rip it, while being careful not to break the sword. We shall not rip it, we shall cut it. And there is the sword. It's got some weight to it, surprisingly. A lot of times the swords are very light. It's kind of pointy. And it's got some like Starfield painted on it. It's got lots of detail on it, especially around the handle and the guard. And it's even got like tinted in the jewel emblem thing, whatever it's called. Yeah. And it is pretty dang big. And maybe about 10.5 inches. Yeah. For a 1/8 scale, this is a very large figure. So there is Tart, or Astarte. Get the plastic off of her. So one of the things that caught my eye on this figure is plastic goes under her belt, which is loose, but just her outfit. It's very unique, especially like the pants. You know, with the one long leg and the one, no leg. And she has the pegs on her feet. Kind of like Plum in that regard, then. I don't know if there's really a way that this is supposed to go. Not that it really matters, I guess. And then she's got, the straps. She's a strapping young girl with the cutouts in her pants so you can see her leg through it. Her toes are nicely done. Her shirt is done very nicely. Some of the pictures, like these lines, were kind of rough and not so nice. But it looks like I've got a very good copy of her. Her top is shiny, like metallic. And she's got a booty on her. Not much of a booty. She's she's actually a normal-sized girl. I mean, her boobs, some people would say they're small. I think they're normal human-sized boobs, unlike most of my figures. And she's got gloves on. So, the way her hands are positioned, that's one of the things that has some people complaining. And it's doable, but it's painful. Then again, I'm not an elf girl and I'm not a goddess of war, so maybe she's a little bit more flexible. And there's her flower hair ornament, which is very nicely done. This is a very nicely done figure, I think. It's my first Vertex figure. Yeah, Vertex. Just had to check and make sure I'm saying the right thing. But yeah, she's done pretty good. And I like her facial expression, too. She's kind of like, grrr, like she's going into battle. The hair's done very nicely, too. So let's stop rambling, which I have a habit of doing, and try to get her... Well, that's a problem. So, yeah, that's a slight problem. Can we force her leg into it? Okay, so you can force it in there. It's not the most sturdy thing. And if she wobbles a little bit, it might pop out. So just a word of warning, her legs aren't lined up the best. But we did get her in her base. So now I'll bring out the instructions. Of course, it's all in Japanese, and it looks kind of like it might be important. Let's see here. So it looks like on the long pole, the one end comes out. And then that goes... I probably should have put this in her hand first. Yeah, before I put her on the base. Because it is very long. And it's a pretty tight fit, too. Yes, I know this is a super exciting video with nothing showing, but... Oh, God, I can't get that through her hand. There we go. Have to angle it just right. Before I go crazy again, does this come off? I don't think so. But it's got to because of the way her hands are positioned. So let's try this again. I might wait on that. I might want to do an image translation on this just to see what it says. But I do know that these ones go into the back. And it looks like if we spin it around so that we would be looking at her back, the long one goes in here, and the short one goes in here. And then you'll have to fiddle with them to get the flag in properly. Give me a minute. I'm going to pause. I hate pausing, but I want to concentrate on this and not break her. So I'll be right back. Hello everybody, I'm back. I hate to have done it, but I had to assemble this one off camera. I hate doing that, but it's like a half hour later. I did the image translation and everything. The instructions aren't very clear of how you have to do this. And I don't know if it's because it's a couple years old or if I got a not the best one, but nothing fits properly. I mean, I showed you that her feet don't fit properly. Her sword even popped out of its little dent that it's supposed to stay in now. This doesn't fit properly. The little supports for her flag don't really fit properly. But she's together. So we're going to just live with it. Like I said, I don't know if it's because she's a couple years old and she warped, or if the base was just made poorly. But yeah, I had to just do this whole thing off camera. So let's go ahead and pull the camera out and just show you a couple of the things. So right here, where her sword goes into her hand, that took me the longest to figure out because I could have swore you would have to take that little knobby bit off. I tried quite a few times and I couldn't get it. So I wound up being able to pry her thumb out just enough that I could squeeze the handle into her hand. I don't think that's how it should have been done, but it's how I wound up having to do that. And then if we look at the base, the sword's popped out a little bit. You might be able to see it like towards the center of the flower, like right there. There's a little dent. That's where the tip of her sword is supposed to rest. But it keeps popping out, so whatever. The supports for her flag, I could barely get them to go in at all, so they're not really in tight. And I mean, they're doing their job. They're holding it up. I don't think that's exactly how it's supposed to be, but it works. Up here, the flag has these metal rings hanging off of it. The bottom one slides over the pole. And then the top one, I showed you that you can actually take that end piece off. If it'll focus. Come on. Yeah, you can take this end piece off. And that's how you get the metal rings on. This top ring actually doesn't slide over the pole. You have to hold it in place and then put the end piece back on. It actually goes inside the long pole. And that's what holds that there. So yeah, it wasn't very fun to assemble Tart. But, I mean, she looks amazing. She's a pain to put together. I actually wound up taking pictures of her and her pieces. Normally I do that, like I'll put the figure together for the video and then disassemble it and take the pictures. I'm not planning on taking her apart at all. So, yay. But, yeah, I do. I love her face and her, like, determined expression. She's got a nice belly on her, showing it off. Nice legs and feet. Wish they fit in the peg holes better. But yeah. And she's painted very well. There's like on the gold on her gauntlet or whatever, that's kind of a strange, could have been done a little bit better. But yeah, her hair looks very good, and she's got a nice back on her. Can't really see it with everything there. But yeah. Yeah, go ahead and put the camera away. And try not to shut it off. And we'll do an actual spin around of Tart. I want to say Tart because it's Astarte, but it's on her base it just says Tart. But yeah, she looks good. If you want to get her, just be warned, she's a pain in the ass to put together. She's on par with, like Black Heart, Purple Heart, and those, they're just a major pain. Like I said, this is Tart, or Astarte. She is from Tears to Tiara II Hao no Matsue, which is a PS3 game. She is manufactured by Vertex and is a 1/8 scale. She is very large for a 1/8. I'll give her that. She's part of the Dwell line. She was released July 8th of 2014. I paid $123 for her, which I know I overpaid for her, but I don't care. And as I said before, I've been interested in her from the past. She has a very unique look to her, and she looks pretty good. If it wasn't for that assembly, I would give her, a 10 out of 10, but definitely not going to rate her that with this assembly process. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I'm out. Bye-bye.